good. It's a triple-double for Bella Earl.
Goes matched up with a speedy guard. Great screen, spin move, layup, he missed it. Williamson fights for the board. His putback is good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Straight Out Wax podcast episode of the getting closer and closer to this 2025-26 season tipping off. Holy cow, we're about 31 days out now from some games tipping off on November 3rd. Crazy to think about it. But on this episode, we're bringing in one of our favorites, who is the longest tenured head coach in the state of Utah, might be the longest tenured head coach at an institution within the WAC too. So welcome in John Judkins down there at the Burns Arena, St. George, Utah. Early morning practice, meetings, everything. Juddy, good morning to you.
Hey, thank you, man. You make me sound like I'm really old, man. I appreciate that. It's the first time I've seen you without a hat too. So
yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Like, haircut, bud.
Yeah, Unfortunately, I have sleep apnea, so I have to wear a CPAP machine, and it screwed up my hair with all, just the way it would. So I got one of those little electric handheld razors, and now I just shave it off, and it's nice and easy. So saves me on hair gel and everything else. So
there you go, buddy. I love it. No, we're excited. We're excited to get started. It's like you said, 31 days. That's crazy how fast it's going. We're so far. I mean, you look at we like I said, we had a little scrimmage, a little red and white yesterday, just to kind of check out our guys shape wise, but also executing. There's so many things we want to add or get in. It's like, oh my gosh, we don't have time. And with the stupid transfer portal, you have all new guys, and so you can't say, well, these guys know it from last year, because it's a whole different deal. And we're changing a lot of things too. So it's getting better. But it's the time's creeping up on us a lot faster than we want. But I did talk to a guy yesterday, came in our practice. He's been at a couple D1s and watching and stuff. And I said, hey, what have you seen around the league? I mean, we have the same issues? Because yep, everybody has the same issues. You got 10 guys out of your 15. Everybody else is hurt or sick or what have you. It just seems like that. Those are the things that's going on. But hey, I'm excited. I really like what I see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy part. Not only that, where you may not have your full roster, like being able to practice or whatnot, because like you said, injuries or sickness. Everybody has whole new rosters, basically. Like, I mean, I think Abilene has 6 or 7 back, which is the most. But it seems like every team in this league has maybe 1, 2, maybe the max is about 3 that have come back. I mean, how tough is that too? Like, that you're trying to get everybody up to speed on what you're trying to do.
No, it's hard. It's hard it's hard to build because of that. You got to go with what you have, and we have 2 guys back that saw a lot of minutes, and then we have a total of 5 or 6 total back. But those other 3 to 4 guys did see a lot of time, so they know that. But they know what we're trying to do, or different things we're trying to do, or how I coach, or how my staff coaches. But some of these new guys, it's just, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that after practice I said, guys, you got to trust us. You got to trust us. And that's, the transfer kids, that they come from a different program. They came from a JUCO. They came from high school. They came from another D1, whatever it may be. Sometimes they got those habits of what they've done at the other school. And it's like, hey, you got to believe and you got to trust us. And it's getting there. But that's one of the hardest things to do. Our defensive schemes are different than what they're used to. Our just different things. But everybody's going through it. It's not just us. It's everybody. And again, the injuries happen. I get it. The part that I don't like about it is just, you just can't spend as much time. Now we're in the 20 hours or the 30 days of practice, which is a lot better. But earlier, you have that 4 hours, and you just can't get a lot done with those new guys. It just takes a lot longer, and again, we do follow the rules, and we don't go for over 4 hours. And so it's just really, really hard to work. But again, that's why they have them. That's what you got to do. And these guys will learn. And I love they're coachable. It's just, just get them to trust us. And it's been a lot better.
Juddy, this might make you sound old or make you feel old a little bit, but going from first off, your assistant Brock brought this up to me this morning, so you can put it on him, okay?
All right.
You've been coaching for 30 years. Like, that's a long time. JUCO, D2, now Division I. You've been at Utah Tech for a long, long time. But did you ever think that recruiting in college basketball from all that time as a coach would get to this point where instead of you saying, well, we got all these guys coming back next year, it's, well, how many guys are leaving this year, type of deal? Because it feels like it's ever since the transfer portal was instilled, which, I mean, we could say it's good and bad. Like there's good things and bad things about it, but that you would get to this point where it's like a free for all in terms of that recruiting aspect.
Yeah, I don't like it. Like you said, there's good and bad about the transfer portal. The good is these kids are young and they make some mistakes and they go places that they don't play or they have a bad experience. So I think that's a good thing. If the NCAA called me and asked me what I thought, I would say give them one freebie.
Yeah.
They could transfer anywhere that one and play right away. But after that, they have to sit. And so they have to do their homework, and they're not just chasing money. They got to go to a place where they feel they can play and they can get to the next. I mean, every one of these guys want to play professionally. That's the reason why they're here, here, everywhere else. So, go to a place where that you can play and that you can put up the numbers or whatever you want to call it to the NBA scouts or overseas or whatever. That's what I would vote for is the one free one, and then after that you have to sit like the old days. But I get it. That's part of the game we got to do. But it's really is frustrating where you finally get a guy. You work with him all year long. He's finally catch on. He gets better, and then the year gets over, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to hit the portal."
Yeah.
Like, holy cow! So we've changed our recruiting. I'll be honest. We tell kids, "Hey, come." It's not the Kentucky of old of they come, one and done. But that's kind of what we're telling guys. Hey, come and play 1 year, and if you can go somewhere higher, better, and make more money, go for it. We'll use that to our advantage, and hopefully people would see that and go, "Hey, I want to go there because I can play more, I can get the experience, and then I can jump and go make some money and go to a higher place." That's kind of almost how we're treating it, and that's kind of how we're going with it. And it's frustrating. It is tough because, like you said, coaching 30 years, like you said, old school. I mean, that's one reason why I left Snow. Was I felt like every year I was starting over. I had a lot of LDS guys on my team, and a lot of them would go 1 year and then go on a mission, and that's when it was 19, and they had to go. So they always played 1 year and then they left. Now they leave right out of high school, so it's not as bad. But it felt like I was rebuilding every year, and so when Dixie State opened up the 4-year, I thought, hey, I want to try that, and that's why I decided to do it. Yeah. And now look at it. It feels like we're modified JC again, where every year you're starting over.
Yeah, I mean, I like that approach that you were saying. Like, let's just approach this where it's a one and done type deal, where we say, come and play for us and play your game and do what you do. And if you end up getting a big offer, after that year where you've had success, well, go take it like that. Yeah. I love that you're trying to use that to your advantage. I don't know that a lot of coaches may see it that way.
Yeah.
But that's a unique view in terms of how to recruit talent to St. George, right? Like you have to do that with, I don't want to say, well, yeah, we'll say it, just the lack of resources compared to other bigger schools. So I like that approach. I really do.
Yeah.
So I guess in that instance, you had Noah Gonzalez who played for you for 4 years. What does that mean to you that a kid trusted you, stayed with you, probably could have bolted at any time, right? Because of the way he played and the way he shot the basketball, but he stayed in St. George. He got his degree. He finished out his career as a Trailblazer. Like, how does that make you feel that he trusted you and your staff to just stay and do his thing?
It means a lot. I love Noah. Noah and his family were so fun to work with. He's going to be a special person in my heart for a long, long, long time. He's going to keep that 3-point record, made 3-point shots. Probably it'll be his forever. Unless they change the rule again. But again, I respect him for what he did, and it paid off for him. It really did. He could have, like you said, he could have gone somewhere and made a lot of money and all that. But hopefully, he feels good about what he did. I definitely do, and I hope that he did, that he made the right choice to do that. But we're not going to see that very much. He's a special individual, and I love what he did. Like you said, that was big for us. And again, it's shows you his character, that he's a winner, and he's loyal. And when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do something, and he's going to be successful in life because of that. I really believe that. I really get scared nowadays of these guys. I know their goal is the NBA, and I get it, and I think it's great. But boy, what happens when it doesn't work out, or an injury, or something? Are they going to be are they going to know how to work? Are they going to know how to do things instead of just everything kind of given to them? No one knows that. I mean, he worked. That's one thing I think it was huge for him. But it's going to mean a lot. It means a lot to me, and hopefully I can get more. I'm not saying we're not going to have more, but hopefully that's what we're trying to do. But we also realize it could be a one and done.
Well, and you mentioned him. The whole guys want to play in the NBA and stuff. Beion Riley signed a professional contract this summer, about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
To play in Finland. Like, how cool is that to see? That guy worked hard. He battled through some injuries too, I know. But it seemed like he played out of position sometimes just because he had to, right? But how excited are you for him to have that opportunity?
That's huge. It's funny. He was here that day or that week. He signed, and it was kind of fun to be with him and talk to him and so on. And again, we want to help him get there wherever we can. And we got some connections. One of my assistants has a lot of connections over there too as well. And JB Justin Beaker's over there playing as well. And Akeem was still talking to some people over there. I think Noah had a chance to do the same thing, but he decided he wanted to stay in Utah and work, and he's got a good job. He got married over the summer. Nice. So there's a lot of different things that changed. But again, back to Beion, I'm so proud of him of how hard he worked. He's always wanted to do that, and good for him. And now the hardest part is getting picked up. And now once you get picked up, now you got to go show what you got to do, what you can do. Right. And hopefully he stays healthy. And he's one guy that did watch what he was eating. Again, that coach was in here last week. I was talking to him a little bit about it. And he has these little watches, or I don't know what they're called, but he has them on all of his guys that he's agents with. And it shows you how much sleep they get, what they're eating. It's big time. It's big time. And I wish I had $1 million my budget right now to get every one of our guys one of those, because I think that's huge. I mean, if you really want to, and we tell us to our guys all the time, if you really want to make it to the next league, you can't wait until your time's up. It's got to be now, and what you're eating and what your rest and taking care of your body. Those are so important. And sometimes these college kids don't think that. I'll just wait until I get that chance. And Beion was ready, and I'm happy for him. I think he's going to do some good things.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about one individual. I know that's a team game, right? But one individual that showed glimpses last year as a freshman. I think we can agree he was still a little bit raw. Mm-hmm. But Madiba Owana, I guess the question is, how much of a leap do you want him and need him to take in his sophomore year? Because like I said, we saw glimpses of how good and special he could be. Sometimes the game sped up a little bit for him, but the athleticism, the strength, the ability to shoot, I think from what I've seen, I love his game. It's just, what do you need him to do in year 2 now?
Yeah, he's got to be that leader. Like I said, he's been around. Obviously, knows what we expect. Like I said, getting him kind of late in December, getting him eligible. But to come in. He won a couple of games for us here. I would say he said it's a team sport, but the energy he brought a couple of games, his first couple of games in, were huge to help us pull out some of those wins. The sky's the limit for him. He's got all the ability. He guards, he jumps, he's athletic, he shoots it, he handles it. We got to have him really, really step up. The one thing I want from him right now is he's got a teammate that's from France as well, Noah. Another Noah. We like those Noahs. Another Noah that came from us and came to us. And so I want him to kind of help him with, how we do things here. That's the other thing. It's hard is these transfers come in, like I said, from back east or wherever, and the game's different. It's a little bit different up west. And one of them asked that question to the official yesterday was, is our games back east are really physical? They're really this. Is that how it is here in the WAC? And it is. Going to Texas, it's physical. And so, but then also you go to Seattle, which we don't have anymore, but you go up there and maybe it's not as physical. They call a lot more fouls, even down here. So again, back to Madiba, I think the sky the limit for him. We expect a lot from him since he's been, again, there's him and Toby were really my two guys that got minutes last year that are back. And so we expect him to do that. He can guard, on-ball defender. He's incredible. Just got to teach him some defensive principles of off-ball. But he's getting there. He's understanding that. But again, I think I want to make him an all-around player. I want to be able. He's got to shoot the three more consistent. He shoots it well, but I got to get him to shoot more consistent of that. He's very good at getting to the hole. I want him to continue to do that. And he's really worked on his mid-range, which is great. So again, I want to get him an all-around package because I think he could be a very special player.
Is there a slight comparison, and it's hard to because between him and maybe a Cam Gooden type? I know that Cam brought everything for you, like he was your leader, he was your general.
Yeah.
But is there slight comparison there to what Madiba could be, as he grows into, Division I basketball player?
Yeah, that's a good thing, except Madiba's more of an off guard than a point guard. So it's a little bit different. But again, I can see the same explosion. I can see the same game changing. Cam's having an incredible year overseas. We forgot about him, but he's tearing it up, which we thought he would. But yeah, that's pretty good comparison. He's a very quiet guy. I got to get him to be more vocal. Cam was really good at that. When you said that leader, that general, that's something he has to work on of getting our guys in the right position, being that general, getting them together, that leadership stuff. That's something he's got. He's kind of a quiet kid. He's a great leader by example, but I got to get him to do more with his voice and be heard, and I think he can do that.
If there was ever one, we talk about this being heard type thing. If there was ever one thing about, we're going to go back to Noah real quick, that you wish Noah would have done a little bit better, would it have been to be vocal? Because he seemed like he was really, I don't want to say quiet, but like you didn't see the facial expressions never really changed.
No, that's right? Noah. That's Noah.
So
we joke about that all the time. But he did something. I can't remember what it was. He had to talk or something. It's like, man, that's the most I've ever heard him talk in a life. But that's just how he is. Even when we recruited him out of Lehigh, and they won the state, you couldn't tell he won or lost. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. And we talk about that a lot, that you got to do that. But you also got to have some – you got to have
some fire there. There's got to be some juice.
And I saw that. And again, I'll tell you what, a guy who really helped us with that is his mentor. We have mentors here to help our guys take them in and kind of be their mom and dad away from home. And he had a really great one that, I saw a big change with him of things that he would do. And I think he came a long ways. But yeah, I always joke about, we wish he would have talked more. And even his wedding, he didn't want to talk too much of his wedding. He just said, hey, thanks for coming. Let's go. But that's just the personality he is. And but I'll tell you what, I never, ever had to get on him of playing hard. It's just, he knew what he had to do and he'd go do it. And we always say, do your job. do your job. And I knew I could count on Noah for doing his job. So, yeah, that's one thing I wish he did more. And his parents even say the same thing. So it's not just, he's a quiet kid. He's a quiet kid, but, that's just how he is. And we love him for it.
That's awesome. I don't want to focus too much on the non-conference schedule. I mean, the one thing I will focus on is your MTE that you're going to the Hawaiian Islands in November.
You want to come? Everybody wants to come on that trip.
I've been texting Brock about it, but I don't know if I'll be able to make that. My wife, I don't think she'll allow me to go to Hawaii without her because she has to work. So I would love to though. But yeah, going to the Hawaiian Islands in November in the midst of all the, I guess, the Arizona trip, right? At Arizona State. Just how challenging that is. I'm sure you guys are going to fly straight from Phoenix to Hawaii, right? You're not going to go back to St. George with that because you play
correct
Arizona State on the 9th on Sunday, Sunday afternoon. And then you have to be, you play on Wednesday in Hawaii. But you also get to face former assistant Gibson Johnson down there with the, at the Stan Sheriff Center. So how excited are you for that opportunity to go out to the Hawaiian Islands? It's basically a pre-Thanksgiving Christmas trip type deal.
Yeah. Well, we did that early so we could help our recruiting. Hey, we're going to Hawaii this year. You want to come? That was the big part of it too. But no, we're excited. I mean, Gibson's a great guy. When he left me to go back there, that last year, he tried to get us to go then. It just was too late. We couldn't make it work, and we said, "Hey, give us another try. We'd love to do it." Again, it's funny when we were in the Pac West Division II. I was tired of going. Hawaii. How do you get tired of going to Hawaii? But the first year I was here, we'd go there. We went and play 2 games, come home, and go back and play 2 more. It was crazy. And then my daughter played softball here too. Well, so then we were going back there watching her play softball. So I was getting really tired of Hawaii. And then we went to the RMAC, and I said, "Wow, I miss Hawaii." so any chance we got a chance to go back, we were going to take it. So we appreciate them giving us this opportunity. But you're right. We got some tough. That trip that week is crazy. Probably something that we maybe made a mistake doing, put too many games in, but we could pass up on it. We go to Arizona and play them on Friday, turn around, play Arizona State on Sunday. We leave on Monday morning to go to Hawaii. We play there Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And so again, sometimes these road trips like this could really build your team and get them closer together. And that's kind of what we hope we can do. But these bye games, sometimes you just got to take it when you can. It helps our program. That's the reason why you do it. And so sometimes the timing is not the best. Last year it hurt us too. We played Utah before we went to our MTE as well in Montana, and I think that hurt us a little bit. But it was something that we needed that game, that bye game. But we thought we could win all 3 games at MTE, and we hope the same thing going to Hawaii. That's our plan. We hope the Arizona State get us prepared for us for that one. And like I said, then we get to come home and do some things. And we do go to Creighton. That's another one we go to right before Christmas. So we got some really good bye games that I'm excited for. But the Hawaii one, everybody's been talking about that for a long, long time.
Well, yeah, you can't not talk about a trip to Hawaii. So
it's true. It's true. So these guys have never been there, so it'll be fun. And just the time change and the different things. There's things that they got to understand, and we'll prepare them. And we've done that again, being in that Division II and going there. We kind of know how that changes, and we got some strategies that we do that's helped us over there. They don't like it. They don't like sometimes of us keeping them up at night the first night, but you got to get used to the time change. That's the big thing. And coming back is worse, I think, is you lose that time coming back. And that next week, it really kind of hits you pretty hard. So we'll see, but we're excited.
So I got to ask, and I'm going to ask every coach about it. The WAC schedule, obviously it's a little 3 games again, playing each team 3 times, it kind of had to be done, right, to get to 18 conference games because there's only 7 teams in the league with Seattle and, Grand Canyon leaving. I know it's looking forward to it a little too far because you got, your whole non-conference slate to look forward to, and you're trying to just get everything in play. But as you kind of look at it, what's something that sticks out that you like and you don't like? I should say, like, when you look at how the prep that's going to have to go into that, and the fact that I don't want to say what you like about the schedule, what you don't like. I want to, just how you're going to approach it.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's the one thing I'm glad they did at first when it came out. You probably know this, but when they first were talking about it, they were trying to do you play back to back. So you go on a road trip and play them on Thursday, and then you turn around and play the same team on Saturday. I think that was crazy. That was the old JUCO days back.
Yeah,
we used to do that, and it's just not good for the WAC. It's not good for the game. It could be an injury. It could be a really physical game on Thursday, almost fights, and then you got to turn around and play again on Saturday. The same guys. I just think that was not a very smart thing. And luckily, the ADs and the presidents agreed with that. The only reason why they thought of that, in my opinion, was money, trying to save money where you're not traveling. But we didn't really save money. We're not really losing money when we lose Grand Canyon and Seattle because we take that trip away. And so now you're going back. For example, I'm going to Abilene Christian early in the year, and then I go back there again. That's kind of like my Seattle trip now going back. So there wasn't like we lost or were spending more money. We really weren't. So I'm glad they changed that, number one. Number two, we did try to do, try to have a conference challenge with the Big Sky, with the Summit, and we just couldn't get it. Teams didn't want to do it. And that was our first go, I think, what Drew was trying to get, so we didn't have to play everybody 3 times. It just, we couldn't get it done. It just, team conferences weren't interested in doing it, and so that hurt us because nobody wanted to do the 3. I mean, we all voted against that from day one. But you have to, you got to do it. You got to do it. And so I think they did the best they can do. I don't really like going to Abilene twice, Tarleton twice. I don't like that, but I also do like that Southern Utah and Utah Valley are coming here twice.
Yep.
So that's kind of a positive part of it if you look at that. So again, and the thing I don't like about it too, though, is it's not really fair. You only do it 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did it 2 years,
where you get like the teams you have to go to twice coming back to your
correct. Then it kind of evens it out. Then it's not so bad. But we know we only have 1 year, so how it's kind of tough. But again, what do you do? We got to play, and we got to do it, and we feel that we have a chance to do some damage. When we were our last year Division II, we won the conference, and we're trying to do the same thing. Hey, it's our last year in the WAC. Let's go win the WAC conference, and that's kind of what we're trying to do.
What was your reaction when the news came out that when Ken Beezers told everybody that Utah Tech was going to be joining the Big Sky Conference?
It was probably good news just because of we didn't know where we stood in the WAC.
Right.
Everybody was, we called playing cards. We're not showing their hands, and it was like, is the WAC, are we trying to get other teams in? I kept asking Drew that. Are we, we have some money now with Grand Canyon and Seattle leaving. Can we draw more teams into the WAC? I mean, you got to remember back in 2022, 23, I think that was the year, we were 11th out of the 32 conferences in basketball. We were 11th.
Yep.
That's incredible. That's a great conference. And then all of a sudden we had teams starting to leave, and then we dropped, and then look what happened there. So we were scared of like, hey, what are we going to do? Are we going to be going to the Summit? Are we going to be going to? I mean, we're looking at all these different conferences, and Ken Beezer wasn't giving us any clues of what we were doing. Everybody was kind of, like I said, hiding their cards. So it was like, wow. I mean, out of all the conferences, if the WAC was going to dissolve like it did, probably the best conference, if you ask me, to join is what we got.
Yeah,
that is the Big Sky. I think it fits us. It's close to travel. Our football team. I mean, it fits us very well. I don't really like the 11 teams. We're having the same thing. We're doing the lone wolf kind of stuff. They're talking about that. But who knows, down the road what's going to happen with that. But again, if the WAC was dissolving and we had to pick a conference, obviously, I think this was the best move for us, and we're excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, with having football, it kind of that's the thing is you have to figure out where the football team would come in with all that, right? So I think you're right. I think the Big Sky was the best fit, and I mean it's cool too because you got Northern Arizona. That's an easy bus ride to Flagstaff. Southern Utah.
Well, we're hearing that's not a fun trip, just so you know. We're hearing that they're probably going to partner up with Northern Colorado. So you got to go from Northern Colorado to Flagstaff.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe they change it and have us be there. I mean, if we ever get to 10 teams, that could be a pretty good conversation of having us with them.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's not really a far trip. But even like the WAC, they kept putting us with SUU. And I get it. We're 50 miles away, but it's not really a fair thing when you got to go to Northern Colorado and then their travel partner is Northern Arizona and then our travel partner is 50 miles up the street. It's kind of doesn't make a home court advantage very good.
Yeah.
But again, things can change. But again, the Montana states, the Weber State to Idaho State. I mean, there's some trips like that are going to be a little bit easier than what we're used to going to Texas, going to Seattle, doing those. You're right.
Yep. Yeah. Exciting times. Juddy, I want to ask you, since you've been in the WAC, with the WAC, obviously changing landscape and everything else, what is one trip? This will be my final question. What is one trip that you won't miss from your time in the Western Athletic Conference?
You should ask Brock that one because he does all our travel. It's just, I don't know. Those again, I love the Texas schools. I love their environment. I love how they play. I love their coaches. But those trips are brutal. That you fly into one and you got to drive 3 hours to the next game. I mean, it's just, like I said, that's tough, to do. But those have been some fun games. The atmosphere there, we do take them to some nice places to eat there in Texas, to some good barbecue.
Yep.
So those kind of make that trip a little bit more fun or better because of that. But those are tough trips, and catching flights, from here to there. They're not an easy thing for us. I mean, we do fly to Dallas from St. George, which is great, but going down to Vegas and have to fly to somewhere else is tough. When UTRGV got out, that was kind of the blessing because of that. That was probably the worst trip that we'd go on of how far away they were. But no, the WAC's been great. I love the WAC. I love the coaches have been outstanding to work with. And we continue to get along and talk and do things. I think that's wonderful. I wish we could do more, meetings, and I wish we did more in-person stuff like that. What like our football teams do. I wish we could have media days as a hey, meet in Vegas or meet somewhere. We see them on the road. We see them recruiting. We see that, but I wish we did some more things like that. The Zoom things are good. I like that, but sometimes in person just to get to know the coach a little bit better is nice. But the WAC's been great to us, letting us join as our first Division I thing to join the WAC. We appreciate all that they did for us, and it's been good. So we want to end good. We want to end on a high note, and that's our goal. And we appreciate everybody what the WAC's been doing for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Utah Tech head coach John Judkins, always appreciate the time, Judd. And like I said, about 31 days until the season starts. So
wait.
You guys got an exhibition in October. So
5th, 18th. Yep. The 18th, we'll do that. Yeah.
Crazy.
Not too far away. Yeah.
So anyways, enjoy the rest of the season's now here. So I can't say off season anymore, but enjoy the rest of October, getting ready for the season. Stay healthy, and we'll hopefully the Trailblazers, like you said, can do some things in their final year in the WAC.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this episode of the Straight Out WAC podcast. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Straight Outta Whack podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcasting platforms. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.